The domain name is the Cyrillic country code top-level domain for the Russian Federation in the domain name system of the Internet. In the domain name system it has the ASCII DNS name XNP1I. The domain accepts only Cyrillic subdomain applications, and is the first Cyrillic implementation of the Internationalizing Domain Names in Applications system. The domain became operational on the 13th of May 2010. As of 2014 it is the most used internationalized country code top-level domain with around 900,000 domain names. Character set is transliterated as Rossiyskaya Federatsiya, the Russian Federation. The domain has an ASCII representation of XNP1I derived as Punycode for use in the domain name system. The domain is intended for Internet resources with names in the Russian language using Cyrillic. A principle in the approval process of ICANN generic names supporting organizations states that Cyrillic two-character top-level domains should not exclusively use characters that could be confused with Latin characters of identical or similar shapes, not just those containing the 7 letters, but also proposed ccTLDs such as due to its visual similarity to BR. As such, GNSO sought to avoid the direct transcription of RU into Cyrillic and common abbreviations for Russia, such as, in order to avoid confusion with the Latin ccTLDs, PY and PO. In English sources, can be romanized as RF, but the latter is not a valid domain for Russia. More recently, 4 other countries have won approval of 3-letter Cyrillic ccTLDs such as, and, as of today, remains the only Cyrillic ccTLD with 2 letters. Early preparations. The preparation, development, and technical testing of the domain started in 2007 by Registrar Rusenta. The domain delegation process started in November 2009 as an application to ICANN under the new fast-track IDN-ccTLD process. The domain is expected to be launched in 2010. In preparation for a launch, Rusenta opened a sunrise registration period for Russian trademark owners from the 25th of November 2009 to the 25th of March 2010. General public registrations are planned starting the 20th of April 2010 through June 2010 using a Dutch auction process, and at a fixed price beginning in July 2010. In January 2010 ICANN announced that the domain was one of the first 4 new non-Latin ccTLDs to have passed the fast-track string evaluation within the domain application process. In a press release in December 2007, Alexei Lesnikov of Rusenta suggested that an auction for domain names could be highly successful, as was the case with a similar domain name auction on the ccTLD, with comparisons being made with an equivalent Chinese TLD. It was anticipated that take-up of the Russian Cyrillic TLD could outstrip demand from the Latin alphabet equivalent, RU. As of 2014, however, RU has 5 times as many registrations as first use. The top-level domain became operational on the Internet on the 13th of May 2010. The first 2 accessible sites were HTTP and HTTP related domains. The traditional country code top-level domain for Russia, based on the ISO country codes, is RU. There is no direct mapping of subdomains between and RU. They are independent domains hosting potentially different resources. However, many resources may use URL redirection or DNS pointers to provide mapping between the namespaces. For example, the URLs HTTP and HTTP Kremlin RU point to the identical resource, and HTTP redirects to HTTP www Yandex RU. Second-level domains The second-level domain names are registered directly with user-defined names, such as company names. There are no standardized category names used on the second level. The second-level domain names are intended to have Cyrillic characters only, but some have Latin characters or digits instead. For the third-level names, it is fairly common that www is used, but most main company addresses don't use any third-level name.